Good evening. Don Palayo here, coming to you on Wednesday evening, April 9th. Interesting day today. I have to tell you, I was at work today when the news started breaking and the market started soaring upwards, and I just had to laugh. This market is just people are just so overreactive to things that happen. It's like they're you know, trying to be first out the door and first back in the door. They're all trying to beat each other to it. And it's just people let the market do its thing. The market's going to go up, market's going to go down. Any money that you have in the stock market should be looked at. I'm not touching this money for at least 5 years. That's the way it really should be. There shouldn't be massive sells and buys, trying to beat based on news. That shouldn't even be a thing. But that's where we are. Um, I, uh, I just think it's funny how Trump is moving the whole market like that, which normally you want the market to be fairly stable, but with a general upward trend. You don't really like a lot of extreme volatility that way. Um, I had after work, I went out with my daughter this evening and had pizza with her, and got to talk and catch up. My oldest daughter, and she's a little bit frustrated right now. She's been applying for jobs and just hasn't been able to find anything. She was working, and the store where she was working before closed. She's going to be going back to school in the fall, so I told her just to get back to school as quick as she can, so she can start getting some education behind her, and that's all that can do is help her, finding better quality jobs too, because she's worked some teenager type jobs. She's worked fast food, she's worked in retail, done some things like that, but you're not going to make a whole lot in those jobs. And so I'm encouraging her to get into school and start learning how to what she's going to do for a career. Right now she's thinking about becoming like a psychologist or a counselor or something like that. So I'm trying to encourage her that way. If that's what she wants to do, I think that would be great, but I told her she's probably going to have a master's degree, so she's going to have to keep her grades up. She's going to have to, work hard to achieve that. I know she's smart enough to do it. Just has to put forth the effort to get it done. Um, I am. I don't know. I'm watching everything that's going on right now. It's hard to know. I do feel like the world in general is going under is in kind of a time of transition right now. Um, you know, we had our more industrial economy, and then we kind of went into this technological economy, and I think we're still kind of there, but it's like we're trying to find that next level. And you kind of think maybe AI is going to be part of that. I don't know exactly what that's going to look like. But we're trying to find that next level up, and I think one of the things that a lot of people are frustrated about right now is that there's just not enough prosperity to go around here in America. It's like you've got this top percentage that's just seems to be making all the money, and the bulk of Americans are just struggling to get by right now. And it's just something's got to change in that regards. It feels like I do feel like maybe they will get to a point where um there I mean there's not really a good way of equalizing that except for maybe tax policy, and maybe they'll look at that. I don't know. It's like they don't want to discourage people from being successful, but there's got to be a better balance with that. But again, I'm kind of centrist when it comes to economics. It's like I don't. I'm a capitalist, I mean, I believe in capitalism, but at the same time, it's like you want prosperity to be in as many hands as possible. And it's just, we need teachers and police officers and firefighters, and we need, people, mechanics. We need people in all these jobs, but it's just these jobs have to be able to provide enough money to allow people to live. And right now it feels like the cost of living is so high that a lot of these jobs, unless you're a doctor or unless you're making $150,000 a year or more, you're struggling. And it's like, I don't know, the cost of living has just seemed to has really increased a lot over the last few years. Um, I keep thinking I need to start making more money. I've for with me, it's like I don't even necessarily want to. I have certain things that I like to spend money on. I want to have money to put aside for savings, for retirement, for my kids. I also have hobbies. I do coin collecting. I have a book collection, and I want to put more money towards my hobbies. But right now, it's a little bit difficult to do that. Um, I am paying off some debt, and I think by October I'll be in pretty good shape with that, and I can probably start contributing more to my hobbies. I'm kind of looking forward to that because I've got look, my book hobby is not cheap, but this coins get expensive really quick. If you want to do it the right way, and I've kind of decided that I'm building out a complete set of Lincoln pennies. There's a couple of them that are very expensive. Um, there's a 1914 D and Denver Mint from the 1914 year, and there's a 1909 San Francisco Mint VDB with the engraver's initials on it. Both of those are very expensive. Well, not horrible, but for a penny, I mean, they probably and get one in a good graded specimen. I'm probably going to have to spend $1,500 to $2,000 for each one, and for a penny, that's like okay, it's like, but I'm looking at these as investment pieces. These are going to be things that I pass down to my kids. I'm not going to ever sell them. They're going to be pieces that I'm passing down to my kids and hopefully my grandkids one day. That's kind of the way I'm looking at that. So, anyway, I also collect Morgan silver dollars. I have a few of those. I guess I could show some of that to you guys while I'm here. I'm guessing most of you have seen Morgan's. This is let me get my glasses here. This is an 1880 S. I don't know if you guys can see that or not. That is a Morgan silver dollar MS63 1880 S. I just picked this up at the coin shop this past weekend. Anyway, that's one of mine. I also have an 1878 right here. This one's not graded, but it looks like it's in okay condition. Yeah. So anyway, that's what Morgan silver dollars look like. That one's got a little bit of toning to it, what they call toning. I've also got this coin, which is a 1851 1-cent coin. I don't know if you can see that. 1 cent. I also have some Indian head cents. This is what the penny looked like before the Lincoln. I don't know if y'all can see that or not. I'm trying to get a good... The lighting in here is terrible. Anyway, y'all know what they look like. So anyway, I'm going to be building out more of my collection with all of that. I I'm probably going to start putting, once I get my debt off, I'll probably be putting a few $100s a month towards that. I also want to put more money into my retirement accounts. I'll be doing some of that too. Anyway, things I'm working on. I'd also like to buy long term. I'd like to buy a plot of land. I'm really wanting to pick up like maybe like a 10 to 20 acre lot of land that I can pass down to my kids as well. I feel like, and I'm thinking about buying a piece of land just rural somewhere, just out in a very rural area. Um, maybe 40, 50 miles from the nearest large town, or city, something like that. So I'm going to be probably looking in the mountains, up in the mountains of North Carolina. Maybe maybe up in Surrey County, uh, kind of northwestern North Carolina. We'll see. Something to think about. I don't have a lot to talk about tonight. I'm feeling kind of tired, but I did want to put out a video. I'm trying to be more consistent with these videos. If there's anything you guys want to hear about specifically, any my thoughts on anything in particular, just let me know. I was listening to a video this evening. There's a lot of controversy around this particular person. His name is Andrew Tate. A lot of people either have good feelings for him or really hate his guts. But I was listening to him, and a lot of what he was saying was spot on in this video I was watching. And he was talking about how men just, our society is just really kind of dumbed down. I feel like, with our schools and stuff. I feel like 100 years ago, it was like our education system was a lot more demanding, it's like today it's just, I don't know. It feels like they're not as demanding in terms of writing skills, reading skills, and all of that. And just, you really had to put out some, big papers and things. And just, I don't know. It just seemed like 100 years ago, there was the level of education was better. I don't know, maybe not, but it feels like it was. Anyway, I'm gonna get ready to go rest for a while. I am tired. Everybody, I know everyone's tired. Everybody's tired of working. Everybody's worn out. I think a lot of our population is getting just tired and worn out. I feel that way a lot. I think in the best interest of our children's generation, our grandchildren's generation, I don't have grandkids yet, but I'm sure I will one day. We really need to try to make this country as best as we can. I think I don't know if everything Trump's doing is helping or hurting. I know one of the things I don't like is I think Trump has really made a lot of people internationally angry with us. Some of our allies angry. I understand what Trump's thinking, and our problem hasn't been Europe. To me, Europe's not the problem. Our problem was China. Our relationship with China has really been the thing that's really weakened the United States over the last 50 years. When Richard Nixon went to China, and China became part of the World Trade Organization, and then they signed NAFTA and did all of that. That was when everything went downhill for the United States. I really don't feel like Europe is the problem. I don't think Canada is the problem. I don't even think Mexico is the problem, except for some of the other things coming across the border. China, our economic deals with China, that's really where the problem is. And I think deep down Trump knows that. And I'm hoping that he will begin to try to fix some of that. I think we would like to see more American products being. Now, we do. When I go to Spain, when I travel over in Europe, there is a lot of American stuff being bought over there. It's like I remember when I was there in the 90s, you had American TV shows, American movies, American music. You had a lot of people drink Coca-Cola over there in Spain. A lot of restaurant brands, McDonald's, Taco Bell, Pizza Hut. I even saw Five Guys over there the last time I was there. I was like, so all the American restaurants are over there. But, when it comes to like cars, you don't see a lot of American cars over there. I think we need to be able to make more Fords, and we need to have more Fords and Chevys and General Motors cars in Europe. You don't see them. You don't hardly see them at all over there. You do see a lot of the European cars. You see a lot of the German cars. You see Volvo and you see Mercedes and BMW. Although I'll be honest, in Spain, I didn't even see BMW that much. I saw Mercedes quite a bit in Spain. Um, but Volkswagen, um, there are a few other European car makes that you see, but you don't really see a lot of American cars. I think that needs to change. We need to be able to get our cars into some of these other markets. In Europe, they would have to be affordable, and usually most of the cars in Europe are smaller than the vehicles here in the United States. So maybe Ford and Chevy could make a smaller vehicle that we could sell in Europe. I do know that they sold Fords there in Spain when I was there in the 90s, because I saw billboards advertising Ford cars, but you just didn't see them. You just didn't see them very much. And I don't think I saw Chevy ever over there. So we need to open up some of the markets for our cars. We need to. It would help if we made better quality cars. I think we're capable of making good quality cars. Um, I think I think you know I think it might help us, to be honest with you, going back to some of our car designs, that we had back in the 60s and 70s that were so popular. I think people like the cars back then better than the ones they've got now. But I don't know. We do have they do have high end cars. Chevy's got, of course, the Corvette, but people in Europe, there's a few people over. There's not that's not a regular car that most people can afford over there. People can barely afford it here in the United States, so they're around, but not that much. Um, anyway, I just hope to see more American products, bigger American products being more openly available in some of these other markets. If Trump can do that, great. I think that would be good for America. But I think the way he's antagonized everybody, now everybody's like, don't buy anything American. They're all wanting to boycott the United States. It's like he needs to rein that in a little bit. It's not helping us. Um. Anyway, so I'm gonna wrap up this video. You guys have a great evening. Hang in there. We're gonna make America great again. Got my red on today. I'm hoping we make America great again. I think every American should want America to be the best it can be. I think everybody has a little different idea as to what that looks like. Um, I like a little bit. I like a lot. I lean more Republican, but I understand the Democrats' positions on some things. Some of their stuff is way out there in left field for me. But when it comes to economic issues, I'm actually a lot more pragmatic with the Democrats. I can understand where they're coming from a little bit better. Some of their social things are just way out there for me. But their economics, some of their positions I can get on board with in terms of the economy. So, Democrats, if you're a Democrat, my advice to you guys, honestly, continue to focus on the economy, focus on health care, focus on the social safety net stuff. Please get away from all of the social things. You know, the red states and even those swing states, that's killing you guys. All that social stuff is killing you guys. It's killing you guys in this area of the country. I feel like the Democrats are pretty good, are pretty likable when it comes to the economic stuff. But when you guys get on this social stuff, y'all just lose a lot of people. So anyway, that'd be my advice. That's just from one Republican voter here in North Carolina. North Carolina is a swing state. Bill Clinton was pretty strong on the economy. I feel like he had a pretty decent run as president. There were a few things like NAFTA that I didn't really particularly care for. I think a lot of Americans didn't like, but overall, I think he did a pretty good job with the economy. I think he had a pretty high approval rating when he left. And the Democrats weren't so freaking weird back then. It's like, I don't know what happened to the Democrats over the last 20 years, but they've just gotten so out there, but on the social stuff. But rein that in, go back, focus on the economy, and I think the Democrats could win elections again. That's really, I think it's just a small tweak the Democrats need to do. Republicans just need to start passing good laws. They need to get the tax situation right. One of the problems with Republicans is we always want to just keep tax cuts, cut taxes. Like, the government has to have some money to run, It's like we need, and our government needs some money to pay down this debt, It's like, I don't know, they keep talking about tax cuts, and it's like, people, we got to pay off this debt, and it's like, I don't know how, tax cuts are going to help us do that. It's like, I understand the position of, that it encourages more growth and all of that. But, I think perhaps we need to look at the progressive tax code that we have. And we've got some people that are making a ton of money at the top. I do feel like those taxes could be a little heavier on the top of that scale. These people that are just making so much money that it's ridiculous. It's like, I think, when you get above a certain dollar amount, it's like 37%, I think, at the top. I think we need to I do think we need to remove the cap on Social Security tax. That would be one of the first things that I think I would do if I was president, is try to fight to get that cap removed. To me, that just makes sense. That just makes the Social Security a flat tax on all earned income instead of just a portion of earned income. And by doing that, you're going to make Social Security a lot more stable, a lot more solvent, common sense stuff. This is pretty common sense stuff, really. I may not sound like a Republican right now, but I voted for Trump all 3 times. So, but I do understand the Democrats on some of their economic positions. I don't agree with them completely very often. It does, but I have probably softened a little bit, become more centrist with my economic views over the last few years. Anyway, I'm gonna get off here. You guys have a good evening. Talk to you soon.